Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Troy Clayton, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Air Force is Warrant Officer Daryl Dimich. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. We also acknowledge the members of the RSL and Services Club Association, RSL Victoria, and RSL Queensland, who are watching the ceremony broadcast across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by visitors to the memorial. If you're able, please stand and join in singing the National Anthem. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn their loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we'll read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Good evening. Today we remember and pay tribute to Trooper Frederick Stanley Hick. Frederick Hick was born in 1888 in Poowong East in Victoria. The fifth son of Daniel and Mary Hick, he attended Mountain View School, after which he went to work on his father's farm. He was an esteemed member of the Grahamville Methodist Church and took part in the Shepparton Christian Endeavour Society. Known by his middle name of Stanley, he was considered very popular in the district. Stanley Hick enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force several weeks after the outbreak of war in 1914. It was reported that he was not of a belligerent nature, but he could not resist the call of empire, especially after reading the accounts of Germany's treatment of Belgium. He underwent a period of training in Australia before leaving for active service overseas, with reinforcements to the 4th Light Horse Regiment in May 1915. Trooper Hick was first sent to Egypt to continue training in the desert and joined his regiment on the Gallipoli Peninsula in early August 1915. A few weeks later, he was transferred to the regiment's machine gun section. On the 16th of September, Trooper Stanley Hick was in the front line near Ryrie's Post. He had just come off duty and was in a dugout he shared with another machine gunner of the 4th Light Horse Regiment, Trooper Les Ray. Hick was in the dugout lying down, and Ray was just outside the door riding a ladder when a high explosive shell landed between them. They were both killed instantly. Stanley Hick and Les Ray were so badly mangled by the explosion that witnesses to the event remembered it with horror. Private Mark Geary wrote, "One thing I am pleased about, they never knew what hit them. Death was so sudden." Troopers Stanley Hick and Les Ray were buried in Shell Green Cemetery, where they lie side by side today. Hick's grave bears the words, "To live in hearts we leave behind is not to die." He was killed just a few days after his 27th birthday. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, among almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. His photograph is displayed today beside the Pool of Reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Trooper Stanley Hick, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Lest we forget,
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Poziere or in the low scrub at Gallipoli with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. We'd like to thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial and wish you all a very good evening. Thank you.